your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them.
Is anybody picking up on the pattern in the sea cucumber tracks here? They look like they go back and forth almost like the ship does when it's mapping. Sort of moving back and forth in the same area.
Looks like it looks like suburban development.
I'll just say one of them went skiing.
Oh,
Then went back up the hill for some reason, then went back down.
I don't do winter sports, so I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, honestly, me either. I'm gonna say that's the Olympics of sea cucumbers.
I wonder if they're sensing like a particular patch where there's a particular patch of good marine snow in the sediment and just making sure that they vacuum up all of it.
These swells are getting rough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna still bubble real quick.
Yeah, sure thing. Do we want, while we're waiting for things to start boogieing, we can look at some of these patterns. If you want to sit down and imagine what the sea cucumber was thinking.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Let's do it.
Sometimes just zooming into the sand, you can see some tiny critters that you just can't see otherwise.
Yeah. Bit of a sediment watcher. All right, you want to go ahead and do a partial zoom on these tracks?
Partial zoom.
There's really no one home here, is there? Okay. Go ahead and come partial wide.
Partial wide.
Let's hop up here and take a look at these guys. Go ahead and push on in there again, please.
Zooming in.
Yeah, there really is no rhyme or reason to these patterns, are there?
No, just very random.
All right, full wide, please.
Full wide.
So there's a learning curve on this still camera. I didn't realize you had to hold down the camera button to get it to take the picture. I'm back here clicking away, taking pictures of nothing.
Oh.
Got 2 more hours to remedy that.
Meredith and Chanel, have we seen any rare or new species of animals so far on this dive?
You know, I don't think we have on this dive, although with corals and sponges, that's always really hard to tell until you have the physical specimen in hand. What we're seeing is stuff we're pretty sure we've seen before and has been photographed and sampled before. But corals can surprise you. Sometimes things you think you know, once you get them up to the lab, they can turn out to be something completely different. So we'll have to see what we get when we get back to the surface. But in general, what we've been seeing so far are species that we expect to see in this area and have been characterized on previous dives, like with the Capstone project.
I'm from a landlocked state, so all of this is new and exciting for me.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
Looks like a bamboo call.
Yep, nice little bamboo there.
Oh, yeah.
I've just realized I have never not lived next to a coast.
Same here. I think we're pretty lucky.
Some more corals on these flows here.
Huh? Sure.
So we have a question about the live specimens. Once we kind of do our science and learn about them, what do we do with them?
So that depends on the exact specimen. And in terms of the sea cucumbers, they're going to be dissected aboard the ship to get their gut contents, since what they're being studied for is a diet and microbiome study. With the corals and sponges, we'll be taking the tissue samples there will be preserved in both alcohol and a buffer solution called RNA later. And that will preserve them and preserve their DNA, and then they get archived at the Museum of Comparative Zoology at Harvard. And that way they're accessible to the entire scientific community moving forward.
Looks like an Iridogorgia, distance. Iridogorgia, sorry.
Yep, and that looks like Iridogorgia. A little more marine snow in the water here too.
Go back down on your altitude. Yeah, so pushing forward gets you lower. And what I do is like little bumps on the altitude or on the Z. So we'll just try to get your altitude around 3 meters or so. Back row, as we go across the flats, we're just doing some pilot training here. So unless you guys want good visual contact, let us know. Nice. Nice. Yeah, so keep feathering the Z. I'll come down on the delta. Nice. Nice. Good. I'm going to hold off here on Argus's altitude. And then, oh, you hear me now? Okay. I'm going to hold off here on Atlanta's altitude. And then I'll have you just fly out kind of center screen on the DVL screen. That's going to be going a bit to your left. And right now, since the kind of cliff is right behind me at 20 meters, I'll have you just lateral instead of dropping in your altitude. Nice.
So I know we haven't spotted any cephalopods on our watch. What about the other watches? Do we know if we have any sightings of cephalopods?
Nice. Looks good.
I did not hear any chatter about cephalopods in the mess right before we came up. I was talking to the previous watch.
Nice.
I'm going to look through the data and check, but I'm pretty sure we haven't quite yet.
Nice. It's looking good. Hey, Chris.
Yes.
When we get to about this contour here, do you
Mm-hmm.
want to arrest the swings before we get into the steeper stuff?
Okay. Yep, can do that.
Thank you. Nice. It's looking a lot better. That's good. Yeah, so I have you at a lower joy gain right now, about 0.6. So that allows for some smoother shots, but it also, you can increase it if you want, but it also just allows for a little bit smoother flying sometimes. I'll come down a bit, sorry. I'll have you go ahead and kick ahead a bit there. I'll have you kick ahead a bit there.
Another couple sea cucumbers finally.
Yeah. Tim, would you mind turning up my audio levels, please, on Atalanta?
Certainly. Give me just a moment.
Thank you.
All right, Jess, can you give it a test now?
Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Want some more?
Yeah, sure. It's just for while we're doing a training session and while we were in transit.
All right, try now, please.
Check, check. Awesome.
If you have a minute, can you zoom in on the substrate over here? I'm kind of curious if these are nodules or why it changed character.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so go ahead and drop in altitude a bit. You can actually go ahead and sit on down if you like. All right, then go ahead and call it out to Tim whenever you won the shot. Nice, nice landing. It's good.
Zooming in. It's about halfway.
Yeah, it seemed like there might be little nodules. It's interesting that halfway between the saddle, it just, a sharp boundary suddenly changed and now there's nodules. That's interesting. Thank you.
Zooming out. Full wide.
Nice.
Bridge nav, reduce speed to 0.1 knots.
Nodule density is continuing to increase as we go along.
Okay, who's counting? 5, 6.
So you're flying over some M&Ms there, Michael.
Is there a box that just has a single basalt in it? I'm wondering if we can scoop some nodules into it.
I will add a complication to that. Our scoop that you're thinking of has a nice bungee cord to it that doesn't actually reach the side boxes.
Oh, never mind.
We do have the scoop with the mesh. However, that probably won't fit in the bio boxes the way that they're arranged right now with the sponge and the other stuff in them.
Yeah, we can't scoop into lambda either because it has that contaminant from the other nodules.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Could pick them up one at a time. If they're small enough, we could technically, theoretically, slurp them up. As long as we don't get the really big ones.
Now, if you're willing to risk it, there might be people interested in them. I don't know how big, what the cutoff is. They all seem pretty uniform, at least.
Yeah, they all seem relatively small. So honestly, I think it might be all right. You want to go ahead and stop the ship, please?
Bridge nav, hold position.
Confirm, Kevin, we're going to take a sample then?
Correct.
Great.
I'm going to try to slurp them up.
Sure thing. So I'll have you get
Bridge
out.
nav, 30 meters, 260.
I'll have you get out ahead, actually, there, Michael. Yeah, so they're going to swing
30 meters.
So I'll probably get you about here. And that'll give us some room for the vehicles to swing overhead.
Just suddenly a plane with thousands and thousands of them out of nowhere. It was almost like a little shoreline.
All right. Yeah, we'll probably feel a bit more swing, but Chris has already called in an arresting move, so hopefully I'll be right. Yeah, anywhere around here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the top-down camera, and they're just almost all exactly the same size. There's very little difference in size.
Yeah. I'm retracting our pin and tilt now. Go ahead and set on down. These are a bit larger than I expected, but yeah, we can probably, maybe we can make it do. Cool. Yeah, go ahead, lock it there.
Understood. So bridge just tells me they're having some issues with the thruster, so.
Roger, it looks like
so far we're holding position, well, kind
we're
of.
going south, hey?
Yeah.
Go ahead and stay there in case we need you to fly away before we hit a cliff. Yeah, let us know if they really start to go crazy there, Chris.
Yep. They're bringing one of the engineers up apparently to look at it.
Roger. Go ahead and look down at the minute there. Look down at the slurp. So for this, I always make sure that the camera's full rack back. And then if by some bad luck, the arm runs away, I'll have you look the camera the other way as quickly as possible. And then I'll be killing the hydraulics. All right. Oh, the valve. Always a thrill a minute. All right. Ugh. Oh, not happy with that grab, apparently. Whatever. All right, go ahead and look on up a bit, please. On the pan and tilt. No worries, I got this on here. All right, go ahead and push it on there, please, Tim. And then I'll have you go ahead and change it to sample jar number 6, please. That's good there. Go ahead and go to sample jar. Yeah, nice. All right, and then give me full jam, 100%. Roger. That's 100% jam. We are getting no flow. Very little flow. Okay, got a little bit. We'll need to do some milking, not that one. So that should be about 3, 4, 5. And let's do one more. Okay. Got 6 in there. Let's do another small one. Okay, full wide, please.
Wide.
I think there's 3 in there so far.
Roger.
Yeah, shake it up.
Got 4 in there so far.
At least.
All right, I'm gonna hold it here. You want to actually switch me spots? I'm gonna run with the vehicle and I'll have you do this. Awesome. All right, back row. So Michael's gonna be doing some hand dancing and we're gonna catch up with the ship. As you can see, the ship is trailing off to the west.
Do you think we got all of it?
No, I think you should probably try a little bit more. Might have like 1 or 2 still in the slurp.
Copy.
I'm gonna, while you do that, it's like we're going. Get that under control. Roger. Roger.
I think that's all of them.
Yeah, go ahead and try like running it out a little more and then kind of resting up instead of at down. There you go. Make sure.
Ah.
Okay. Let me try not to go past that red tape at the danger zone. Okay, yeah. Looks like it then. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe there's 6 or 7 in there. All right, so go ahead and stow it. So, yeah. Nice. Very nice. Good job.
No. There you go.
So now go ahead and close up the jaws and kick it back up in there a bit more.
Ah.
You can actually just close the jaws outside of it.
I didn't mean to grab it. I don't want to grab it.
Go ahead and swing a bit more outward. Nice. Looking good. Oh, looks good. Oh, nice.
The ship's up to 1 knot now.
Roger. Yeah, looks like we're really making some good heading.
Yeah, well, it's sailing vessel Nautilus.
So actually, wrist out so that you don't. So
There you go.
piston.
Yeah. Yeah, I got upside down.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead and shoulder up, and then you can kill hydraulics there. There you go.
Okay.
Yep, that's good. Great. Awesome.
It's really hard if you can't even see the full arm. Get lost.
Yeah, it takes a bit of time to get used to what feels comfortable with it, you know.
Great job on the sampling and tough conditions, front row. You guys are killing it, as always.
Thank you, back row.
Is that the danger zone tape? If the tape goes past here, you lose the tube?
No, it's this, it puts a lot of strain on the
bungee.
the bungee and also the, what's the word for hollow tube? Yeah, hose. This is what I was, yeah,
The
you know. Sorry, that was me switching salvos.
So Kevin, do you know why the rocks are kind of all the same size? Do you know what kind of contributed to this?
Not really, no. My assumption is they start growing and then they can't grow in the sediment or they can't incorporate the sediment, so they probably push it out to a certain length, and then if they all start growing at the same time, they probably come out to about the same size before they get limited by space, with sediment getting in way, preventing them from growing into each other.
Roger. No, it doesn't seem as though... It's okay, we'll just fly high and hang on, yeah.
All right. I'm starting to swing. You're pulling out.
Yeah. I'll hang out here.
You still feeling good about your daisy chain?
So now we have to have some road trip songs or something that we think about, right? What do you do on a road trip when you're just passing the time, waiting for your thrusters to come back online? I don't know. There are no thrusters in cars.
All I know is I'm not going out to push.
That's what you think.
Actually, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind jumping over the side right now.
Hold stand by.
It's a little bouncy for that.
Raj.
So ROV pilots, we had a question come in about the claws, the arm of Hercules. Are there any new updates, new improvements, I guess, on Hercules? Are there new claws?
Stand by, actually. We have a conversation here for operations purposes. We'll answer that in a moment. Thank you.
Hey, back row. What are a sea monster's favorite foods?
I don't know. What are a sea monster's favorite foods?
Fish and ships.
Good one.
So we did have another question come in about, I guess, channel 3, which shows all of us in the control van. We are actually on top of the ship. We're not on Johnston Atoll. We're just going to be diving around Johnston Atoll with our ROVs. I don't believe we're having any scuba divers jump in or doing any exploring, but yeah, we're stationed right on the ship, and we'll go ahead and wave to you.
Right now we're way down at the southwest border of the monument, diving just inside the border of the EEZ.
There's that sharp divide again.
They just disappear so suddenly. And it's actually really kind of interesting to see on the sonar. You can see them just appear and disappear as well.
Yeah, this would be a nice instance if we had the really high resolution multi-beam to see if that's a change in slope from going slightly downhill to slightly uphill.
Little coral.
Back row, we're gonna get ourselves back to where we started from. We got everything under control thanks to Mr. Chris.
Thought it was Dr. Chris.
I think it's Dr. Captain Sir. Was that what we came up with?
Yeah, that'll do.
We'll just get to cross that beachfront of nodules again.
We'll be so tired of seeing that by this point. We'll
Yeah.
just be keep on going over and over.
I could arrange another if you like.
You sure you do have a lot of doctors up there?
Oh, that's a good point. Thanks, Randy.
I don't like the insinuation.
I think that's why he left it a cliffhanger for all of us to fill in.
So, what was that question? For ROV?
Oh yeah, so someone was interested in the claws of Hercules that was grabbing, what were we grabbing? The slurp, I believe. Are they new,
Come up again,
or
please.
has Hercules undergone any updates recently? Maybe share about that if possible.
I don't think they're new.
Yeah, they're we only have on these like massive coral cutters with these giant blades on it to get like super steampunk, but and it also helps with coral samples and appearances.
Yeah.
When it comes to the primnoids and the bamboo corals, the coral cutters are really helpful because while they don't have the really hard solid skeleton that you might get with some of the stony corals, they can have their really flexible axis can actually be really tough to cut through without the cutters on.
I'm gonna spin around to our heading.
Yeah, sure thing.
Oh, it's 8-0, right?
Yeah, they're 8-0. I'm gonna stay over here though until we feel that swing. Yeah.
I'm gonna swing the other way. Since we got the time.
Actually, Michael, you want to stay on this heading for a few minutes until we feel that swing in Argus,
Oh, okay.
so that we're not looking at a blank screen over there.
But that's like the best.
Raj.
I know a lot of people don't do this anymore, but it makes quite the screensaver. Wonder why they call it a screensaver. Why is it? I don't think you're saving the screen. Burning. Yeah, we got you. Back in the CRT days.
Yeah. The very early CRT days.
Would the early LCDs do that too?
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
And plasma displays and stuff all had that issue.
We took the scenic tour to our next waypoint.
Well, we wanted to visit waypoint 7 again, so.
See if we can sneak up on that sea pickle earlier.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, there is a sea pickle right below the lasers.
Oh, yeah.
This one didn't get the memo from the others.
Yeah, really.
But is it kosher?
Not sure if this is survival of the fittest or not. I didn't get the memo.
It's the same one from earlier.
It's following us like a ghost. All right, Tim, go ahead and push on in there a bit, please.
Zooming in.
Kind of looks like a liver in this configuration, right?
I'd be very concerned if my liver looked like that.
That's a very fair point.
I know it's super rude, but I just kind of want to poke him.
Yeah, me too.
What?
Poke them, but
Oh,
we cannot, but it would be fun. If we had very gentle, delicate manipulators, then maybe. Okay, full wide, please.
Full wide.
just like, come on, do something.
I like when they swim in the water column. Very good swimmers.
I think I am swinging.
Yeah, you're still swinging from the ship runaway. I need to catch up to you again.
Run away.
The stock sponge.
Yeah. Bolosoma, is that one correct?
I believe these are bolosoma.
Go ahead and push on in there a bit, please.
Zooming in.
See what's on its other side. Oh, it has a nose.
Whoa.
We see a face.
We see a face.
Like just
It's got little lips.
straight up Alfred Hitchcock or something.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Is that a snail on it?
All right, full wide, please.
Full wide.
Really nice texture there. Really
Yeah.
good view of all the oscula.
Get you lined up for a cold still cam shot. See.
Snapping away back here now that I've got it figured out.
Raj. There's a little sea pen next to it too, actually.
Yeah, I see that now.
Steel bubble real quick.
Roger that.
Those sea pens are always so tempting to try and sample, but the minute you get near them, they suck themselves right down into the mud.
All right, I think Argus is, Atalanta is starting to swing now the other way. All right, Michael, you want to meet me at 080 now?
Yes.
So if you're just tuning in, we're still making our way up this unnamed seamount near Johnston Atoll in the Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument. So go ahead and send us your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them.
Yeah, see, we drew a little sperm whale on there.
It really did.
If you draw it, they will come.
We had a question about how long this dive, how long is this dive that we're undergoing right now. So I believe this is a 24-hour dive. We've been diving since 9 p.m. yesterday. So I think we have about 7 more hours on this dive.
Looks like a little urchin or anemone, bottom right.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a little anemone. Seeing if I can pull up an ID here.
Go ahead and push on in there, please, Tim.
Zooming in.
Very spiky. Neat. Full wide, please.
Full wide.
It's an actiniaria of some sort.
Meredith, how long did it take you to learn every single species in the deep sea?
A long time. And I'm still learning all of the species. So I'd ID all the species out here much better if we were on, say, the West Coast. I've spent a lot more hours looking at those species, but I'm getting them better here. I feel like I need flashcards, so in my off hours, I can just go through flashcards.
We should ask Steve to put together a deep sea Kahoot. You ever use that game? It's sort of a trivia quiz game that's used in schools a lot.
I love Kahoot.
Kevin, would you be willing to share kind of what are we looking at? Like what, how were these rocks formed, and just kind of an overview of what we're kind of seeing right now?
Yeah, we're essentially on a basaltic volcano that's been inactive since the Cretaceous. It likely, based on the age relative to the underlying crust, it formed away from spreading ridges, so it formed inside the middle of the plate. Exactly what caused it to form isn't known. We can figure that out through the chemistry, as well as the ages in the rocks. It may have formed from a deep upwelling of mantle material, called a plume, or some other extensional processes. Maybe the plate got stretched to the point where you can actually melt it, because you crack it. But essentially this is kind of a big, or actually this in this case, a small basaltic volcano, similar to like Hawaii, but a much smaller scale. You find these kind of volcanoes just dotting most of the Pacific Basin all over the place. So they're quite common, especially where we are and to the west of us in Johnston. But yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you.
Got some more Iridogorgia just along the edge of this feature here.
That's a pretty one.
Oh, goodness. What?
Way out ahead of us, just to the left of the lasers, there's another Iridogorgia. There's a whole cluster of them right in here.
You have some eagle eyes. Wow.
It's like the deep sea version of, say, mushroom hunting. You just got to get them dialed in, so you know what you're looking for.
That search image sort of ingrained in your brain.
We're finishing up this move. Do you want to go down to 0.3?
Well, we can keep 0.5 until we get to that contour again.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris.
Bridge nav, can we do another 200 meters, 080?
There's a really fine coral or coral skeleton right in front of us.
Yeah, did you guys want to go look at it, or was it just an annotation?
Just an annotation.
Roger.
I hope you find something unexpected.
Yeah, whale fall, please. Anywhere?
That's what I was like, what's that? Is that? No, that's just another rock. Well, not just another. I don't mean to offend anybody.
For the geologist in the room. Sad.
I'm counting every one of these rocks, and they're all precious.
Oh, that's a nice sentiment.
Just kidding, I just want the basalt.
Right.
We did see a shark once in Kingman at this depth, so it is possible, theoretically.
Okay.
Jess, can you talk a bit about how we're able to measure the objects we see and the objects we're able to grab and put inside Hercules?
Yeah, we have these scaling lasers in front, like these 2 green dots are scaling lasers. So we can get a general estimation of size. And then for what we can perceive as being able to fit in our boxes or whatnot, I like lining up the claw next to it because then it really gives you can put the lasers on it, which is a good start, but since we're going to be grabbing it anyway, but presumably, it's kind of nice to put the manip next to it and really get that feel for, is that too big for this box or whatnot? It's kind of funny sometimes. Some folks will kind of like hammer a rock into a bin to make it go. And that's kind of funny to watch. We try not to do that.
I like how you switch it from we don't, we try not to.
We definitely try not to, and I don't like doing that because then it means I have to get it out when it comes to the surface.
I was gonna say, is it even funnier to watch scientists try to retrieve that rock out of the box once it's at the surface?
Yeah, it involves a pry bar. It's,
Well, it's not a pry bar. Movie reference, sorry.
I was like, what do we call it then? Do we call something funny here? I didn't get the memo.
No.
There's a nice looking stock sponge over there on the top.
Yeah.
I've seen a few of these really adorable little red fish swimming by. Does anybody know what those are?
Those might be actually shrimp. They're like bright red.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are shrimp.
Oh, they're so cute.
They're really long legs. Like,
They have no fear. They'll just come right up to the camera and stare at you, which I appreciate.
We're moving 808, yeah, okay.
yeah.
Here it comes on the sonar, the transition between the actual rocks on the left and the manganese on the right.
Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba, ba. Oh wait, well, these rocks are old, so it'd be like da na 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 na. Whoa.
Some good swells, hey?
Yeah. Yeah, Atalanta's trying his darndest. It's just like, it's steady, and then it goes as if it tripped over something. It's like, whoa.
Just like throws everything into the air.
Yeah, like that. Just.
That's a sea star.
Yeah.
Once again, we crossed the manganese divide.
It's a very official name.
Do you know if, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it was something silly. Don't even.
Wait, now we really want to hear it though.
I was just gonna say, oh, are you on the mang or are you on the knees side?
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for the pity laugh. Anyway.
Oh
Sorry for the
yeah, I was
interruption.
going to ask if sediment sorting based on size happens on the seafloor because of ocean currents, similar to how sediment sorting happens in a river where a higher energy river will carry big sediments, and as it slows down, it drops the bigger sized sediments because it doesn't have energy to carry it. Does a similar thing happen in the seafloor with ocean current?
Yeah, there's definitely certain areas you can see that. You see it a lot in the Atlantic, in some areas where you get a lot of like bivalve shells and things that actually, give you variable size. The seamounts here and at our depth, we're kind of just dealing with marine snow. That's all the same size. You're not going to really see a lot of variation, but it's certainly you can have current sorting of the sediment sizes and density.
That's cool. And you don't think that's what's going on here?
I don't think so. These are probably too large to move with these deep ocean currents, and yeah, I don't know. It might be, but I don't think it is. At least it's not. And these nodules typically form, they're not forming upslope and then moving. They're kind of forming in place in the sediment.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Cool, thanks. Where does all the iron and manganese even come from? Is it like dissolved in the seawater and then it precipitates out?
Yeah, exactly. So some of it comes from mid-ocean ridges, and some of it comes from the continents, just river runoff. And so iron and manganese are going to kind of dissolve out into negative and positively charged oxides. And then when you're in really cold, high-pressure, deep environments like this, they'll start to stick together on hard surfaces. So for most part, whenever you have a nodule and you cut it open, there's going to be a little piece of rock inside it typically, because it's something, or a shell, or something that it can actually start growing on and then continue to grow from there.
Like a raindrop.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, like sort of like an oyster makes a pearl.
Oh, that's more applicable.
Oh, raindrop's great too.
In the Atalanta view, we have some little jelly of some sort hanging right by the tether, up kind of behind the vehicle. Just on the edge of the light pool.
Yeah, there seem to be some critters that are always interested in what the vehicles are doing, just out of view. Like when there's these headless chicken monsters, we call them, the sea cucumber, they're all red and a lot of flaps on them and whatnot. They're swimming up in the water column, but sometimes they'll hang out behind Herc, like little jack-o'-lanterns or little ghosts or whatnot, not jack-o'-lanterns. It's pretty cool. We're not alone down here.
little patch in the nodule field, almost like they got pushed aside.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does look like there's little bioherms there.
Yeah.
What's the term you used? Bioherm?
Bioherm. It's basically a little mound of sediment that's been pushed up by some of the infauna underneath.
Do you do a partial zoom there real quick? See if we can
Partial
see anyone
zoom.
home. No. Full wide, please.
Full wide.
Well, we're cooking with gas.
Do we know of a critter large enough to make the size of those mounds?
There's some worms and things that could do it, and there are some echinoderms that bury themselves in the sediment.
Yeah, you can kind of see a fresh white patch on the top of that sediment where it got disturbed in that last mound.
Since I don't have my glasses on, everything just kind of looks like static.
The still camera shots are looking like some really nice like moonscapes with this kind of light pool and then just the dark background.
And bubble cam looks like as if it's under a microscope.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Waldo.
All right, I am going to bring the speed down a bit now. 0.2, 0.3.
Yeah, let's do 0.3, yeah.
Okay. Breach nav, another 200 meters, 0.3 knots.
All right, Becca, we're pretty much made up the loss.
Right, yep, just where we started, right back here.
We verified. That's what we did. We verified the waypoint. We verified everything that was here.
It's good to know that it's a very extensive nodule field.
So expansive. You're about to tug.
Around, she'll stay here.
Is that dark object just a bigger nodule?
That's a good question. Go ahead and push on in there, please.
Zoom in.
Looks like it, yeah.
Looks like a nodule out of place.
But who put it there?
Could be a meteorite.
All right, forward, please. We're in new territory now. Oof, nice.
How can you
Looks
tell?
the same.
Little sea cucumber.
Let's see cucumber.
Does Liz want any other like nice images or anything like this of sea cucumbers for their work?
That I am not sure of, but I have been trying to snap them with the still cam as they go by.
Okay. We can also take some nice beauty shots of some of them too that look different, if that would be helpful.
A little fish on the left of the screen. Just got away from us.
Yeah. All right, we're getting back into the cliffs. Yes, yes, yes.
So manganese is one of these elements that's useful in, I guess, lithium-ion batteries. What does it do for the battery? Yeah, I guess how does it improve the efficiency of the battery? Does anybody know?
Say that again?
How does the manganese actually improve the efficiency of lithium-ion or high-capacity batteries? Or do I just totally have that wrong?
It sounds correct, but I can't recall all the things right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So, oh, did you want to say something? Oh, I just did a quick Google search, but let's see what it says. Manganese plays an important role in battery-powered products. It acts as a stabilizer in the structure of nickel, manganese, cobalt. Cathode materials and cathode materials are the key performing drivers of lithium-ion batteries. This is just a quick search, but...
Oh, it's helpful. It's a sort of a stabilizing agent, yeah.
So the nodules also have pretty high concentrations of nickel and cobalt. I know the nodules in this region have cobalt concentrations around 0.7 weight percent, which is quite large. So it's a useful source of cobalt.
What's this up ahead?
Are these going to be all little, tiny little batteries?
Whoa, what
What
is
is
that?
this?
Oh!
We have been blessed.
I think this is another cusk eel, although it would be nice if it would turn around and show us the head end.
Push on in there, please.
Giving us the cold tail.
That's awesome.
Its eyes are not what I thought they were to be. It probably doesn't know what to do right now.
Yeah.
It's probably blinded.
All right. Pull wide, please.
Pull wide.
Something different to look at than the sediment.
I'm going to look up the fish right now.
You okay for DVL reset?
Yeah, go ahead.
You climbing now?
Yeah, now we're going upslope.
Another little crinoid there, maybe?
Gonna go with my best guess from looking at the guides that it was a bassogigas.
The fish?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
How do you spell that?
Breach nav. Can you cancel the current move and put in 400 meters 090? Don't sound so excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
Another holothurian.
Yeah, it looks very similar to the one we just collected.
Mm. Whoa.
There's a little anemone.
Mm-hmm.
Not much going on biology-wise in this area yet, but we should be going up a much steeper slope starting about now.
Yeah, we're definitely feeling the slope now.
Was that sea anemone, the marker?
It's
Yes.
a trail marker.
Oh, here we go. So let's start going at rank 5. Rank 5 hike.
Turn left at the sea anemone.
Black diamond
Start
slopes.
climbing.
Yeah.
It's another sponge skeleton.
Yeah.
Got a nice thick boitryotal crust. That grape-like texture on top of the ferromanganese is well developed here.
Yeah.
That tends to form from when you have little bits of sediment on top of the rock. Oh, there's an anemone, good looking one. And the ferromanganese doesn't grow on the sediment, so it grows around it. You end up with these
Looks like a
circular
face.
domes.
Right next to the anemone, that looks like a disgruntled face. A grimace, if you will.
Little sponge on the rock to the right too.
I think that's actually might be a old holdfast area, but
Ah.
I don't see anyone home there. Yeah.
All right.
There's a coral finally.
Single one, yeah.
What was the name of that coral again?
Cool.
That was a bamboo coral. And I think we've got another one right.
Thanks.
Got some Rockies.
Yeah.
The lights make it look like it has thrusters on Herc. Right on the back.
Oh, yeah. Street racing mode.
Yeah, paint some flames on it so it can go faster.
That's what we were doing wrong.
Yeah.
So back row, we're going on upslope at a little bit of a faster clip so we can get some ground made up. Let us know if this is too fast for you guys or anything like that.
Will do. Got classic pill basalt textures. Kind of look like the older pillows.
You're kind of soft.
It's a big old, what is that, sea cucumber?
I do believe that is another sea cucumber. We've been seeing all this same type through here.
Yeah.
Those farreid sponge skeletons look almost like vertebrae when they lay there.
Yeah, they do.
Kind of has an ominous feel to it then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when they're all piled up.
Just look at the bones.
Another one?
Has it been determined what the sort of the upper age limit on some of these corals are? I know they can live hundreds, if not thousands of years, but is there a record?
The current record is held by a black coral from Hawaii, and it's was aged at 4,000 years old.
Wow.
So a lot of the bamboos will be in the hundreds of years old. So they can be quite old.
4,000 years is a long time ago.
It must have had a very thick stalk then, I would imagine, the base of it.
I believe so. We actually had the deep sea coral program had an intern who did a story map, which I believe is still available on the web, that kind of compares the age of that coral through history and what would have been going on at different stages of its growth.
Oh, cool.
Negative, Bridge.
Passing over a bamboo coral. Or some kind of coral.
That was another of these single stalk bamboos that we've been seeing all over this area.
Someone had a question about the amount of biology we're seeing. It's kind of spread out or not really a dense collection of different sponges or coral. Is there any hypothesis as to why we're kind of seeing that kind of spread out layout?
We're probably not in an area of the seamount that has really optimal flow for them to really maximize their feeding ability, given what the typical current regime is in the area. So you'll have a few, but they're not going to be in one of those really dense communities that you can get. So as we move through the various dives we are doing throughout this expedition, we'll be trying to get different aspects on some of these seamounts that get different current directions, because that's one of the things we're trying to determine is what the most optimal flow rate is for some of these species. So in this area, we're just probably not in the right area of flow to support a really dense coral community. If we look off to our left up here, I think there's a nice vase sponge.
Sure.
But it's nice.
Go ahead and push that in there a bit, please.
Zooming in.
Oh yeah, that's really nice.
This is the one that has the shrimp that lives inside of it, is that correct?
I believe so. It is in the Euplectaridae, which is that family.
Get any more zoom there?
Definitely.
You can see that nice little veil over the top of the main oscula.
Very cool. Full wide, please.
Full wide. So what's the difference between a filter feeder and a suspension feeder?
Is this a joke?
No. It's actually a question I have. I feel like I've heard both of those terms recently.
So a filter feeder, I believe, is actively pumping water using cilia or legs, and a suspension feeder, I believe, is feeding in a more passive manner.
So something like a sponge which pumps water through it would be a filter feeder.
Yes.
Or as a coral that catches stuff would be a suspension feeder. Okay.
Or something that uses just like mucus to pick stuff up might be a suspension feeder.
I like it. That does sound like the beginning of a joke. Filter feeder, a suspension feeder, and a deposit feeder all walk into a bar.
Oh.
I'll have to work on this one.
I like the start of it at least.
I have a question here for people who didn't grow up by the ocean. I remember being in Iowa and being really inspired by missions like this, but it not feeling like it's something in my reach because I grew up in a landlocked state. And I was just curious about what your stories are and how you got out here to do something cool and what you would recommend someone who's in my old positions to do, who doesn't have access to the ocean, to get involved with cool research like this.
Look at this one.
Well, I grew up in Ohio, which is not near the ocean. We do have Great Lakes, though. And that was one of the first places I started getting involved. I did some work at the Stone Laboratory and stuff up in Lake Erie, sort of in high school and that sort of thing. Did some sailing and stuff up there. Ended up doing a physics degree in Ohio. Towards the end of that, I really kind of started realizing I wanted to go and do the ocean thing.
Yeah.
So I decided to go to grad school and got an engineering degree in Philadelphia, and then eventually found some opportunity at University of Hawaii to get started on my PhD, and that's when I started doing the ocean research thing. So, I don't know. There was never a clear path on how to do it, but like I just kept the goal in mind and took the opportunities as they came.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in California, but just like he said, just take the opportunities. I found this opportunity on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of those liking it was like an octopus or something. It was like a short little clip, and then I followed, and then one of the posts that came out, it's like looking for interns. So I shot my shot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Otherwise, I never would have figured anything else like this existed.
That's really
Even
cool.
though I know, like I'm watching videos that it's doing, I just never thought to reach out and find somebody.
There are fantastic internships through the Ocean Exploration Trust for undergraduates to come out and do work like this. And then NOAA actually has undergraduate internships as well through the Hauling Scholar Program, where students can go spend 9 weeks in the summer working in a NOAA lab, doing science of ranging from all different kinds of biology to chemistry to all different kinds of projects. And our watch lead here is doing marine geology from the University of Las Vegas.
Yeah, a gambling hole in the middle of the desert. The perfect place for marine geology. One thing I would say as a professor, and I always tell my students and undergraduates, if you ever have a class and you like what you see, professors are always excited to talk about their research or cool stuff. So always just ask them, how do I get involved in this? And they should help you, or at least point you in the direction. So
Just start showing up to the meetings.
yeah, I mean, that's kind of how you do it. You just kind of keep putting yourself there, and eventually you become part of it. It's a weird strategy that works. But all in all, just always ask. There's usually opportunities. And you'll be surprised at how many opportunities are poorly applied to.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
I need you to get ahead of me.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my verticals up under control.
Yeah, anytime you see a post that says application deadline extended, it's usually a pretty good indication that you might not have a lot of competition.
Yep.
There comes a good coral.
Our bamboo. Excuse you.
Iridogorgia, right there on the left.
Yep. Suddenly starting to see a little more coral. Maybe right when we get to the crest up here, we'll come into a larger community.
Yeah.
Crossing my fingers.
Just in time for Steve to take over.
So if you're just joining us, we are currently exploring this unnamed seamount near Johnson Atoll in the Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument. We're currently on our last hour of our watch, but I believe there will be 6 more hours for this dive. So stay tuned and send us your questions and we'll do our best to answer them.
I think we just had a black coral go by on the left that I saw on the still cam. I think we're past it and we're moving ahead, but keep an eye out.
Sure, are those for just imaging or also for collection?
I think just for imaging, but I'll check the list back here.
Okay. Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, just as we go up slope, to keep at a good clip, we're just going faster, but we can also slow down if you'd like.